Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. We're a little bit later today because the patch notes have dropped, which goes over all the hunter nerfs going on, including a significant kind of rework on Faithful Companions, making that card a little bit less OTK-ish, if we want to say, as well as some other updates to Battlegrounds Duels, confirmation on some buffs that, you know, we were kind of expecting confirmations on, and we'll go over all of that. And if you enjoy the content on the channel, if you like, I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below, give the video a like, it helps us out a ton. And yes, patch 27.2.2 is a data-only patch launching today. It's actually up right now. Like, I've already just downloaded it as right before I recorded this video. So you can go and download it, get those dust refunds, check out the nerfs, try and see if Hearthstone is gone. So it is live. And yes, we have these standard card updates, and we have a dev comment here going over everything. So dev comment, when we made our last round of changes, we knew this balance window was coming soon, so we took a lighter touch on Hunter. Now that we've seen the results of our last changes, which basically very little changed, we're happy with how the meta is shaping up, but it's clear that we need to give Hunter a bit more of an adjustment to give other classes some room to breathe. Hunter has two decks we're targeting with these changes: Arcane Hunter and Hound Hunter. Halduron, I can never say that card name correctly, is a card we previously buffed to give the Arcane package a chance to shine. We're happy with our prior change to the effect, but just need to adjust the numbers slightly to keep the power in line. For Hound Hunter, we wanted to hit the deck's early game and its explosive end game. They sure do that. The adjustments to Faithful Companions should cut down on that finishing potential, while also letting the deck operate on another axis with some more interesting late game decisions. I love the way they word it. Wow, that's you'll see what I mean when we take a look at that card. But yeah, as predicted, Fox Spirit Wild Seed goes from a 3-1 to a 2-1. So officially, yeah, all the Wild Seed cards have been nerfed at least once, some twice. The most nerfed card arguably in Hearthstone history. I might do a video talking about that because that could be pretty fun. But yeah, this is a really significant one. That 3 attack really helps, you know, killing those 2-3 minions, or those 3 health early game minions, which are pretty prevalent in the game. All of a sudden, this Wild Seed, you get it immediately a lot of times with like Wild Spirits, right? Doesn't kill nearly as much. This might be the most relevant nerf to the Wild Seeds we have seen. I expect this to be a very significant change for Hunter decks going forward. Probably still worth running Wild Seeds, but definitely will hurt the deck a lot. And well, any Hunter deck, because all the Hunter decks run the Wild Seeds. They're all so good, but this does hurt it a lot. So it'll be very interesting to see how much Hunter falls off from this, because, well, it's not the only change. Halduron, Brightwing, as I thought they wouldn't redo the effect because the card wasn't very good before. I thought it would go the Blightfang route, and now it's a 4-mana 4/4 instead of a 3-mana 3/4. So it doesn't have premium stats anymore. It's no longer 3 mana, but it's still a pretty good card. The thing is, though, one of the powerful things about this card is you played it on 3. You curved into the 4-mana spell that summons the 4/4s. I can never remember the name, but you get 2 of them, right? So you can't really curve into that. It really disrupts their curve that you want to hit. So it's still probably a very playable card in Arcane Hunter. Has like a near 70% mulligan win rate. But this should significantly, you know, slow it down a little bit. Again, they're just trying to let other decks breathe. So the effect is still, you know, the same insane effect, but it's slowed down a bit. And again, I don't think it kills the card, but it should certainly help out. The last one, though, this is the big one for Hound Hunter. This basically destroys the way this deck destroys control decks. It's its main win con to beat control decks is Faithful Companions. Before, you could just discover a beast, summon it, you summon a copy of it, right? That doesn't work anymore. Now, you discover a beast from your deck and summon it, so the same as before. However, you now summon a beast from your hand. So this card will only be good now if you have another beast in your hand and, you know, a buffed beast in your deck. You can still OTK with King Crush. I tweeted out you can't do it anymore. A little bit of a misleading thing, because if you select a breeder, right? You play your 2-mana 1/3, select a breeder, copy, say, a buffed King Crush, and then you play this without drawing King Crush because select a breeder is a copy, then you can still do it. But you have to work a lot harder for it. It's a lot more situational. And also, if you have other beasts in your hand, right, you might not be able to get rid of that Mukla or that Hound at some point. It's harder to OTK. So you can still do that, but it's much more difficult. And one of the, you know, conveniences of this card is the second you hit 10 mana, boom, you kill your opponent with your like 20 King Crushes if you've played of your Hope of Kale, Philosophy to your Lorthamar, right? So this was one of the best ways the class could deal with control priest, control warrior, which are very prevalent, control, or not control mage, but like Sith mage, all valid ways of beating them. This is huge change, and I do expect to see a very significant drop off in Hound Hunter, as it kind of just lost its way to auto beat those decks, right? Or for the most part, auto beat it. Yes, you can still set it up as select a breeder, but you really gotta, you know, work for it a lot harder. So we'll see. I don't think the card's dead. It just, like they said, they gotta pivot your strategy, basically. You gotta work harder to make this card work better, you know? That's what they're doing. So those are the nerfs. I do expect to see a big drop in Hunter rather than last time, which was like one attack to a meaningless like card draw secret card, and then you know, Hound Hunter losing some health. This is significant rework of a card, and then an actual significant mana nerf to one of the best cards in the deck, and like an actual attack to a minion that cares about the attack, right? Like the costume singer or whatever it's called doesn't really care about the attack, wants to draw secrets. This wants to hit for 3. So I do think we'll see some significant drop off in Hunter. However, there are some updates. This is basically just confirming those accidental buffs that went live, the wildcard updates. They're confirming that Timberwolf is, yeah, it's going to be a 1/2 going forward. So that'll be live in Twist. Jinyu will be a 4/6 going forward. It used to be a 3/6. This card saw play, so it might see play in Twist. This is actually relevant. I don't know about Timberwolf. Timberwolf didn't really see play until Master's Call was the thing, because you could draw and tutor out your beasts. I don't think, like, this card was always really quite bad actually until then, but you do have Starving Buzzard, so there is a shot, right? Like, Starving Buzzard's 2 mana that didn't exist back then, so it could see play. And Firelands, this was a very meta card back during the day of like mean streaks, especially in Ungoro, when you had like was it Discover Mage? I love that deck. Won't be as much of a thing because you don't have Glyph and all that, but you played Medivh and you played Firelands Portal. Well, now instead of getting you'll get a random 5 or 7 drop and a 6 drop and deal 6. So these buffs are official. They go live, but I believe Swipe will be going back to its 4 mana, and the other change, I think, was Glaive Zuka getting a +2 attack, will be going back, and Dragon's Breath was dealing 5, will go back to dealing 4. So those buffs should be gone. There's all the Battlegrounds changes. You guys, I will link that below if you want to take a look. There are a ton of them. Duels updates. There's passive treasure updates. They nerfed Kindling Flame because, well, of course they nerf something. They always nerf stuff in duel. It's crazy. They natural force got nerfed. This is very relevant in a lot of the shaman builds out there. So like the overload shaman. So again, another nerfed. Mending pools after you cast your first nature spell instead of whenever you play one. Again, another popular one. So they're going after the nature stuff. Another very popular strat was playing spreading saplings and druid, and then getting your basically getting all your treant stuff for free. Now you're getting saplings, no treants, so that is horrendously bad in comparison. Iron Roots, same deal. After you except instead of +2/+2, you get +1/+1. Endurance training, dude, they nerf everything and buff nothing in duels, right? Are there any buffs? Free solid, whenever a damage is dealt to a frozen, okay, they buffed this one. They buff free solid. There, we got a buff. After you cast a fell spell, give the left or right most minions in your hand +1/+1. Okay, so they buff that. And passive treasure pools, starving has been moved to pool 2. They nerfed that a bunch. Now it's pool 2. And special deliveries ultra rare, so that's pretty crazy. And Helia and Odin, Hell yeah, and Odin Prime Designate have been banned from initial deck building, so you can't play Curses or Plagues or go Armor Warrior. I don't know, like those are the fun things to do with duels, and now I can't do it. The duels is like the anti-fun mode. They nerf everything, ban everything. Why do I play the mode? It's so weird. I played not nearly as much, and I will say a lot of the reasons are that. I'm very curious if you guys let me know what you think about the duels changes, because yeah, again, more stuff you can't do. And then there's some big bugs where, yeah, changes the Glaive Zuka swipe and Dragon's Breath. Fixed a bug where Don Honcho, I didn't even know this, was a 5/6 instead of 5/5. So it was a missed buff that I missed. Wormweaver's text box to update Mana Worm stats. They rebuffed Mana Worm, and Wormweaver said 1/2s. And then there's some other stuff. So there you go. And also Neptulon will no longer be generated by Chaos Storm. Apparently you could get Neptulon from Chaos Storm, even though it's not an overload card. So there you go. That's the patch notes. Hopefully we'll have a day one patch review, see how everything's going. I know there's some new stuff in the shop I haven't talked about yet. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And also Caverns of Time, I believe, will be available for purchase tomorrow. So there'll be a lot to talk about. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.